It's late, but I'm here. Happy Tuesday. I'm here to spoil this week's podcast episode, which is The Left Hand by Brittnay J. Sears. And it has not released yet. It comes out on February 11th. So if you would like to read it in full, then you can purchase it then. But I'm going to spoil it. And then you can also listen to the podcast on any podcast platform at Booktrospective for a full detailed spoiler and an interview from the author. So this book is actually about some mobsters. So it follows Jan and Lavio. They get married. This is all taking place in Montana, I believe. And basically, she falls in love with this guy, and he's handsome, but he has a little secret, and he doesn't tell her after they're married, which is that he's basically a mobster. She's in nursing school with this girl named Doris. They go out to like this little like bar or whatever, and that's where she meets him. And she's kind of reminiscing on this because she's actually like 70 something now. He's passed away, but her granddaughter is getting married, and so like there's all these rules about who can sit next to who and all these things. And so she's just kind of thinking back on her life about how Lavia was like, he really was a great husband. They do have a couple kids. She has a miscarriage in the book, which is really traumatizing to her. And also some other tragedies. So amongst like all the fun times, I'm just going to kind of spoil two of the tragic things in the book. One, her best friend, Doris, who introduced her to Lavio, basically like is the reason that she met him, and who is like the godmother to her son and is getting ready to marry Enzo, which is like Lavio's right-hand man. She is actually a rat. She works for the cops, and she tries to get them arrested because her and Lavia are like, they're like in the whole like family, they're like basically smuggling these like fake coats and like swapping them for reals and getting money for it basically. And so she like, first Doris tries to pretend like she doesn't want to do it anymore, but then yeah, she tries to arrest her, and then the next morning Doris is found in a single car accident, which we know was actually taken care of by the family. The second thing is that Big Sal is another of the family members, his wife Giovanna. First, her and Giovanna don't have the best relationship because she kind of seems jealous of her. But she gets to know Giovanna and realizes that she's being terribly abused by Sal. Sal also like hates Jan, and every moment he can get like a chance to like take a dig at her, he takes it. And one night at dinner, they notice bruises. She calls him out in front of the whole family. Lavio like beats him up. They have to take him to the hospital, get fixed up. She tries to get them to spend the night at the house. They don't, and so Giovanna goes home with Sal. And the next day, she's in the hospital. He like wrecked all of their like warehouses and stuff, and the family is out looking for Big Sal. But she had told Giovanna that the next time this happened, she would take care of it. So she goes to the hospital. She gets medicine from like another nurse pretending to be a nurse because she did graduate. And she, she takes care of him. She goes to like one of the houses that they own. And shoot, I mentioned this in the episode, and I can't think of what it's called. But she basically, it's that movie with Gerard Butler. I can't think what it's called. I mentioned it in the episode. But anyways, she paralyzes him, but he can still feel everything. And she like recites a whole bunch of Bible verses at him and like tortures him a little bit. And then he ends up having a heart attack from the stress of the situation. So her and the family kind of like take care of it. And that's basically like her whole thing is like, I'm not his right hand man, I'm the left hand. And I basically, also make sure he's doing just fine. And so, yeah, that's just like kind of a recap of her life being her husband's left hand, as she's reminiscing during the time that her granddaughter is getting married, and like it makes her think about her wedding and all of the good times and the bad times that she's had in this life. So this is her first book. Brittnay was actually a bookstore owner who decided to write a book, and she's already working on another series. So definitely check out the interview at the end of the episode. And that is all I have for this week. I will be back next week to spoil another episode for you.